Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your reading. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for May 2023, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? I was about 6 minutes into this reading, and then I realized that I didn't have my microphone on, and you guys couldn't hear anything I was saying. So we're going to try this again. As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall oracle cards for the reading as well as the overall theme of the reading. This week, I've actually clarified those with another tarot deck, so I have a separate clarification deck that I'll be using in this reading. I have the deck already shuffled that we'll be diving into, as well as the decks that we'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Cancer. In your recent past, you have a time for healing with the Temperance card. I feel like you've been, I don't want to say stuck, because I don't necessarily feel like you've been stuck, but you've been in this healing period for quite some time now, and especially in your recent past. And it's kind of made you have to tap into a deeper part of yourself here with the Temperance card. Like, it feels like, I don't know, like a new level of like patience or balance is being brought into your life through this healing. Maybe you don't see that yet, but I do feel like this is leading you somewhere, because then in your current energy, you have surrender to the divine with the Tower. So there was a Tower moment that took place, but this Tower, it's kind of forcing you to surrender a little bit, to let go. Now, surrendering, that doesn't mean giving up. That means giving your, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, your dreams, your idea of abundance, whatever it is, it means giving it over to the divine, giving it over to the universe, and trusting that you don't have to, fight so hard for it. Because I feel like there's a level of you that's holding on to something in particular, which is actually keeping you from what you really want. And then in your immediate future, you have faith in your dreams with the Ace of Swords. So this Tower is actually leading to a breakthrough, which brings you closer to your dreams, to what it is that you want. Now, the overall energy for the reading is kind of interesting, because you have this card as assertiveness, and then the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, this Page of Wands in reverse is and always will be inner child energy to me. So it feels like there's a part of you that's needing to be a little bit more sure of what it is you deserve, and the fact that that is going to come into your reality. One of the biggest aspects, or most important aspects, of manifestation is being able to let go of the outcome and trust so deeply that it's going to arrive, that you're grateful for it before it even appears into your life. Now, I do feel like there's some inner child energy that's blocking you from fully being able to tap into that energy. And so we will see what it is you're kind of dealing with here. So let's start, Cancer, by looking at your recent past. You have a time for healing with the Temperance. This is for Cancer's recent past, clarifying a time for healing with the Temperance card. Recent past for Cancer. Ooh, a lot of stress. A lot of stress and anxiety in your recent past. My goodness, Cancer. Okay, yeah. So this is what's interesting. On the back of the deck, you have High Priestess in reverse with the Ace of Swords. Obviously, the same Ace of Swords right there. So right now, you're not able to understand the purpose of what's happening, and specifically in your recent past. I feel like you kind of were just stuck in this energy of letting your fears and your doubts and your insecurities kind of take over. Now, I feel like those needed to be brought to the surface. So I do feel like whatever happened, and I feel like it's this Tower. But I actually feel like this Tower happened in your past, and now you're working through it more in your current energy, because whatever this energy was, it brought on some pretty intense fear. Recent past for Cancer. Recent past for Cancer. Ooh, please. Recent past for Cancer, please. There you are. The Judgment, Queen of Cups in reverse, Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Whether you're male or female, I feel like this Queen of Cups in reverse is you. this was a time of pretty intense emotional overwhelm. And I feel like it got really difficult to see through the emotion that you were experiencing. And that's why I feel like now you're kind of in an energy of processing through it. Like it happened, you kind of were, the wave of emotion kind of hit you, and now it feels like that wave is maybe starting to go back out into the ocean, and you're able to see a little bit clearer. And I feel like through that energy, you're going to experience some sort of a breakthrough. And that breakthrough is going to lead you to where you're trying to go. Because you have this Two of Wands. So this is talking about how the situation is trying to get you into alignment here. Whatever you're going through is actually bringing you closer to alignment. So you're getting closer to what you ultimately want. It might feel like you're getting further from it, but you're actually getting closer to it. Because remember, manifestation, majority of it happens within, as within, so without. So if your material world isn't yet where you want it to be, it's because your internal world needs to be adjusted to align with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So with the Judgment card here, that's it. To me, this is like saying the truth of a situation or seeing through the illusion. And I feel like that's kind of what you were struggling with in your recent past, but like are currently getting to in your current energy. Current. Let's get more for Cancer's recent past, but I'm interested in this Page of Wands numbers. Cancer's recent past. Star. There's the Star again. It's like you were triggered into doing some deep healing. And that makes sense. Some deep healing. Because inner child energy to me, like, yes, it does feel like it comes from, experiences, childhood programming, right? Experiences that taught you certain things about the world and about your life and about yourself when you were a kid. But other experiences can be triggered as well, because say you experienced, this is just an example, but abandonment as a child, and then you're in a relationship with someone else, later on, maybe early adulthood or even later into adulthood, and you experience some form of abandonment again. That person up and leaves, you don't really understand why, and you're left feeling like it's your fault. The situation that you're dealing with is triggering the childhood wound, not. And so what I'm getting at is sometimes when we experience triggers, when we experience tower moments and other aspects when we're in adulthood, there's childhood programming that's being brought to the surface through that so that we can reshape our beliefs about our reality. Now it's happening through a situation you recently experienced, but the healing is actually geared more toward that childhood programming. So I hope that makes sense. All right, current energy for Cancer. So that's kind of what I feel like what was triggered in your recent past was whatever needed to be healed. And what's needing to be healed, I feel like, is being a little bit more uncovered now in your current energy. So let's see. The Nine of Cups and the Hermit. Just kind of shot out there. All right, current energy for Cancer. Clarifying, surrender to the divine with the Tower. This is for Cancer's current energy, please. Surrender to the divine with the Tower. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Ten of Wands in reverse. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Ooh, and that Fool again. Okay. So you're working through loss right now. When you first kind of experience loss and you go through some form of like a traumatic experience or just a very emotionally charged event, in that moment, all you need to do is be able to get yourself through that moment, right? And then the processing, it always kind of takes place a little bit later. And I feel like that's the energy you're in now, is processing through this loss. Now, you're experiencing a lot of triggers still. But I do still believe that all of this is leading you to some form of a breakthrough, which is going to lead you closer to what it is you want. Because remember that what is meant for you will never pass you, even if you feel like it already has. It does not mean that anything that is meant for you and is meant to be in your life for the long term has passed you. Yet I feel like it's, and I understand that it's hard to see that when you're in the thick of healing. And so if that is you right now, understand that you are really just kind of in an energy of needing to be where you're at, because you're going to be able to eventually come out of it. Now let's get more here, Cancer, for your current energy. This is for Cancer's current energy. Page of Cups in reverse and Six of Pentacles in reverse. There's an energy here that aligns kind of with like, why haven't I received yet? Like, why me or why not me? And I feel like that's exactly what I was going to say. What that means is you're not listening to your intuition about the purpose of this, because your higher self is trying to help you through this in a way that will help you heal. But I feel like it's challenging because you're having a hard time facing the truth of the situation. Now, remember that healing, it's not just about healing from other people. It's about healing from your role in your own suffering as well. And there's a level here of needing to face a little bit of that. Like, and it doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to need to rephrase that in a second, but let me clarify this Page of Wands in reverse with the assertiveness. Because I definitely feel like this ties into this message, just with seeing another page here. Clarifying this Page of Wands with the assertiveness. Two of Swords in reverse. Let me get a little bit more here. That's funny. That was at the bottom of the deck anyway. And the Emperor in reverse. Okay. Whatever it is that you're going through, this feeling of loss or lack, right? It's helping you in a very backwards way realize that you have more control over your reality than you think you do. But the universe needs you to surrender and let go of control a little bit more, because there's a part of you that's trying to make things happen instead of allow things to happen. Now, I feel like with this assertiveness card, there is a difference between being assertive in your energy and chasing something and, trying, like, having a fear-based attachment to an outcome. And the assertiveness energy, it comes from this level of confidence within, being so certain in the fact that what you are deserving of is going to find you one way or another, and the universe has your back in supporting you on that path. Because I feel like what's happening here is you obviously haven't received whatever it is that you're wanting. Because I feel like in your recent past, like, yes, it was a time for healing and you were in this temperance energy, but I almost also feel like you were waiting for something to happen, or waiting for something to come to fruition. And it hasn't yet. And maybe every time you feel like it's about to, you experience a loss. And that loss, those tower moments, then affirm the fear associated with whatever outcome you're trying to manifest. And the more that you experience these tower moments, the more of that fear that you're having to face. Because I feel like there's a part of you that exists kind of deep down that believes that you are undeserving of what it is that you want. Now, it could be undeserving in the sense that you don't feel like you are, good enough for it, or you don't believe you're capable of it, or you don't believe that it exists for you, or whatever the case is. But there's this level of you that's needing to release some fears that you have surrounding whatever this is that you're wanting to have. Current energy for Cancer. want more here. Hermit in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. And then there's the Knight of Cups in reverse again. And then the World. It feels like the universe put you through what it did to turn you inward. Because there was a part of you that was like living too much in your head. Like, I don't necessarily know if it's like expectations or whatever. Basically, what I'm getting at is whatever's happening, it was supposed to happen. Because this trigger needed to help you close out some sort of a cycle here. And I don't know if it's a cycle of loss or a cycle of lack or a cycle of letting your fear get the best of you. Whatever it is, this cycle wants to close so that you can receive. But in closing this cycle, you're having to experience some pretty intense emotion. And I feel like that's been the hardest aspect of this for you. Interesting. All right, Cancer, let's look at your immediate future. You have faith in your dreams with the Ace of Swords. Immediate future for Cancer, clarifying, have faith in your dreams with the Ace of Swords. There's the High Priestess. Oh, and then you have the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let me see here. Can I get more on this? There it is. I knew it. I knew that was going to come up because there's the Page of Wands in reverse and then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So that's so funny because when those came out, I immediately drew my attention to this and I was like, that makes sense. And then I asked for more and then, okay. Sorry, I just get excited about tarot sometimes. One of the craziest things about us as human beings is that we actually resist our own abundance and our own happiness. Because painful cycles to us, though painful, are familiar. And our ego likes familiar because it likes predictable. It likes to know how it's going to feel, even if that feeling is negative. Because the unfamiliar for you is love, abundance, freedom. And therefore, you have had a tendency in your past to choose and make decisions that align with old cycles instead of align with new experiences and new beginnings. Now, these old cycles stem from inner child energy. And there's a part of you, Cancer, that is really used to being unstable. Meaning feeling like you are in an unstable relationship, feeling like you're in an unstable home environment, feeling like you're in an unstable financial situation. Instability and lack is your comfort zone. Therefore, you have made decisions and choices that have led you to experiencing more of that because it is what you are comfortable with. Now, that is not your fault, and this is not a conscious decision-making aspect of your reality. Remember that 95% of our movements, choices, decisions, and actions in response to our reality is subconscious, and those subconscious beliefs are a product of what it is that we've experienced. So if you have experienced lack and failure and struggle and instability your whole life, or at least majority of your childhood, then you have internalized that is the way life is and that is the way it's always going to be. Now you might want more, but there's a part of you that doesn't, because you are comfortable with where you're at right now, because you are those cycles are predictable. So what I'm getting at is your intuition and what you're going through, your higher self, not your intuition, is trying to help break you out of the cycle of choosing situations that make you have to experience these same kind of outcomes again. Because that is your own resistance to your abundance that is being worked through right now. So, and I kind of mentioned, I said this earlier, I said healing also means looking at how you are responsible for your own suffering. And that is kind of what you're having to do right now. For me, I kind of had to look at situations in the past and look at the fact that the reason I always found myself in relationships with emotionally unavailable people who couldn't show up for me or couldn't be honest with me or whatever the case was because I was choosing emotionally unavailable people. Because I felt like there was a part of me that wanted to change them, or maybe this time it would be different, when at the end of the day, my subconscious was choosing these people because it was familiar for me. Now, I grew up with emotionally unavailable parents. Therefore, their emotional unavailability to me became my form and definition of what loving relationships are. And so, in order for me to be able to choose differently and to accept abundance into my life, I had to get to the root of why I chose relationships and people that treated me poorly. And that kind of feels like what is being brought to the surface through whatever this is that you're dealing with. Immediate future for Cancer. I was really hoping this reading would tie together because I was kind of getting a little lost there. Immediate future for Cancer, please. The Hangman and the Seven of Swords. This is saying you're needing to surrender to the unknown, because you have a tendency to choose situations and people and things to that extent because you settle for what is right in front of you because you fear that nothing better is ever going to come your way. And so you settle for people that, that provide the same red flags, that give you the same feelings as what you've experienced before because it is comfortable to you. And there is nothing wrong with you for being stuck in those cycles. In fact, it is a very common, very human thing that we all do. Now, the most important thing for you, Cancer, is to be and bring this be aware and bring these tendencies and these choices that you tend to make into your awareness. And that will, include having to look back on past, relationships or past, situations where you can say, okay, yes, I made the choice to pursue or start or stay in a situation that wasn't good for me because I hoped it would change, and B, because I feared I'd never find anything better. And that within itself is a limiting belief that you are allowing have control over your life. Now, what's happening here is through these situations that you're experiencing, these limiting beliefs are trying to be brought to the surface because you deserve to experience more than what you have experienced. But if you don't break out of the limiting beliefs that keep you trapped in experiencing the same situations and circumstances over and over again, you're going to stay stuck here. And the universe doesn't want that for you. You don't want that for you. No one does. Immediate future for Cancer. So it's almost like this is trying to help you surrender and let go of the wheel a little bit so that you don't control your reality through staying in familiarity, because that familiarity is painful for you. Immediate future for Cancer. Immediate future for Cancer. So you have a lot of doubt in your future and what's possible for you and what you're capable of. You have a lot of doubt. I actually feel like it's quite a lot. And you kind of have a tendency with the Ace of Cups in reverse to push that doubt down. And it has to come up somehow. It has to come up eventually. So it comes up through these painful situations because you're having to address these fears and these doubts and these insecurities, like this Nine of Swords that you were experiencing in your past, so that you don't have to continue to live with them controlling you. So when you're facing these obstacles and you're facing these tower moments, it's because there are certain aspects of your healing that are trying to be brought to the surface and healed through these situations. And I feel like there's a part of you that it's almost like you believe you're destined to be stuck in this energy. Like it's like you're like, oh, this is always how things are going to be for me. Like that's to me, that's what you're feeling like. But that within itself, Cancer, is a limiting belief. And so allow yourself to be a little bit more aware of what's going on and what's trying to be brought to the surface so that you can heal and release it. And no, it's not easy, but it is very freeing. Okay, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to dive into these messages, get a little bit more information on them, and then I have an actual advice card to pull at the end. Thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Cancer.